So guys, we got some big clues in this episode and I just cannot wait to talk about them, so let's just get into it now. Hey guys, and welcome back to Kelly TV. So the episode starts with the girls finally realizing, finally, that Allie is not A, and that she's probably not really that bad, at least not a murderer. So they're visiting her in jail. They promise her that they're going to get her out. But there's one issue here. She says she's going to have to tell her lawyers about Mike, which makes Arya understandably freak out because she doesn't want her brother to go down for anything, which he's probably innocent too, and I like him. I don't want anything bad to happen to Mike. Spencer's mom is not cool with these jail visits, and she tells Spencer to not go back again, which I don't see that happening. But she does tell her that she's been talking to Ren, who has scheduled an interview for Spencer at Oxford in London, which is really interesting because we haven't seen Ren in such a long time, and I was hoping we would see him this time, but no, not the case. So Arya wants some legal advice from Mrs. Hastings, and what I thought was super funny was when she offered her $1 for her confidentiality. Now, she gave her a hypothetical situation, which we all know she was talking about her brother Mike, and Mrs. H thinks that he's actually going to face some pretty harsh charges, which I hope that doesn't happen. So I just can't with Talia. You guys know that. But she claims now that she's quitting her job since she knows she screwed everything up with Emily. So we will see about that. Allie creepily writes Mona's name on what I think was a table covered in powdered laundry detergent, which I find pretty weird. But let's just excuse that and move on. Anyway, so she wrote Mona on it, and later that will be important. That whole scene was just weird and bizarre. So Mrs. H actually visits Allie in prison, and Allie kind of wants her to be her lawyer or her counsel and her coach, I guess. And I think she's probably going to do it, which I guess is a good thing. What do you think? So this show will just not quit with Andrea. And by Andrea, I mean they want us to ship Andrew and Arya, and I'm just, like I've said, I'm never going to do it, just never going to do it. And then he asks her on a date, but here's when things get really shady. He starts talking about this movie, this old school movie he wants to take her to, and he's describing this total situation which sounds like what's going on in Rosewood with A, and that's creepy. So does the show want us to think that he's on the A team and they're just messing with us, or is he actually on the A team? Because Andrew's looking mega shady in this episode. So, of course, we do not get to see Ren and Melissa in London. We do meet this guy named Colin, who, after talking to a lot of you guys, I think is pretty important. I'll tell you why a little bit later, especially since people from the show, writers of the show, were tweeting that, what do we think of Colin? Colin claims to be their flatmate. Flat is apartment, for those of you in the States. Flat is what they call that, I guess, in England. Anyway, I'm kind of wondering if he's not making this whole story up, and they don't even know who Colin is, but we will see. So Allison returns back to the laundry room, and someone has added to that message, and it now says, Mona told everything. So what do you guys think she told? I'm really curious to find out. Shady Talia claims that she is separating from her husband. She has her car packed. She's moving out of town. But the funny thing is, when Emily offers that she can stay at her place for a few nights, she's totally like, oh yeah, of course, I'll totally do that. Yeah, whatever, Talia. Arya finds out that Cyrus was injured in an accident, so she thinks this is a great time for the girls to go visit him in the hospital to get some information. So Allie gets another one of those little creepy surprise packages in jail, and this one's in the shape of a barrel with like a little jail doll, and inside is a note that says, you're already over a barrel, so want to be in one too. And if they don't tell us who is in that barrel by the end of the season, I am just not going to be happy, because they totally dropped that storyline. And I really don't think Allie's going to be in a barrel. At least I hope not. Spencer makes it to her interview, and things don't go as planned. Literally, her bag starts bleeding. We know that's probably one of the girls or her own vials of blood. And I think, after talking to some of you, that Colin, the supposed flatmate, is the person who put that blood in her bag, not A at the airport. I think he must be working for the A team. So Emily is still planning on competing in that glass slipper pageant so that she can win and give the money to Hannah for college. But there's a little issue here. You see, the woman who's running the pageant doesn't think it would be very good for Emily to participate because she's affiliated with Allie. What do you want to think that A told her about that affiliation? So it turns out that someone, aka A, really effed up Cyrus. Like, he's badly burned. I mean, it's no joke here. And Arya and Hannah are visiting him in the hospital. He tells them that it's no accident. He writes a note, and it looks like it says carjack, but later they realize it says Varjack. Now this, to me, is the absolute biggest clue in this episode, one of the bigger clues we've ever gotten. Why is Varjack important? Well, I did a quick Google search. Varjack was a character in the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was an old school Audrey Hepburn movie. This movie is important to PLL because it was referenced by Ezra, who claimed that he felt that Allie, in that book that he wrote that was super shady, Allie to him was like Holly Golightly. Holly Golightly was Audrey Hepburn's character in the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's. Therefore, I believe that Ezra equals Varjack, which may equal Big A. Let's let that sink in for a little bit. Leave me your theories down below, or your response to that down below. Do you think he could still be Big A? Because in my heart, I have always wanted Ezra to be Big A from the beginning, from the creepy start of his relationship with Arya from the beginning. So I think that is the biggest clue we've had in a while. So A threatens Spencer with even more bleeding baggage, and I think this really might be the end for Cyrus, because A, or someone on the A team, and someone even told me they think it's Andrew because it looked like he had on his shoes, was mummified in the hospital and is getting up to go attack him. We know it's going to happen. I can't feel too bad because Cyrus is kind of creepy to me and don't know if we can trust him, but you don't want anyone to die, do you? Oh, and surprise, surprise, the Tashley wedding, which is Pastor Ted and Ashley, is back on. But I started thinking about this, and something just doesn't add up here, because Ashley claims that he's all cool with the Jason thing, and she claims she told him about it, but did we see her tell him about it? I think not. I think little Miss Ashley may have a little bit of trouble with the truth here, and I'm thinking she didn't tell him. And I think that's why they're still getting married, and I think A will be the one to tell him. What do you guys think about that? Well, Talia makes a bold move trying to get on Team Emily when she tells the pageant sponsor that they should totally give Emily some money for school if she's going to basically kick her out of the pageant. Emily says that will never happen, but hey, maybe it will. But still, Talia, it doesn't make me like you or trust you. Arya climbs onto Mike's weights to reach for something that looks like a schedule on his dartboard, and someone has been messing with the weights, so they crumble and she falls down, or at least that bench crumbles and she falls down and hurts herself. I think she may have sprained like an ankle or something. But the crazy thing is that Andrew was somewhere in her house. That was kind of weird. He comes to save the day. He realizes that someone tampered with those weights, and if Mike had actually been trying to lift the weights, he would have crushed his skull. So thank goodness Arya climbed up on them and only has like a sprain or something, because wow. Another huge OMG moment when Mrs. H is looking through Allie's file, and she comes across something so crazy that she calls Spencer and she's like, you can't come back to Rosewood. You can't leave England. So I'm totally wondering, what is this? If you think you know, let me know, because I cannot figure that out. And oh my God, the Andrea kiss finally happened. It freaked me out. I didn't like it. I looked away. I know some of you like Andrew, so, we all have our different tastes and opinions, so I'm not mad at you. But no, I can't. I don't ship that at all. Hannah finally visits Allie again, and it looks like they actually have a chance of being real friends again, which I think would be pretty nice, honestly. But we're left with a cliffhanger, because the last thing that Hannah says to Allie is, who's Varjack? And she doesn't have time to respond, or she's not going to respond, or guess we'll have to wait until next week, but I need to know. Like, I really, really, really need to know. And our A moment was pretty big too. We see A putting $20 bills into the Bible, and it's highlighting a passage that talks about vengeance is mine. So obviously A wants to seek revenge on some wrongdoing that he or she or his family has experienced. Somebody has been really tortured in Rosewood, and that's our big A, someone who has like a really bad past that I don't think we, really know ourselves yet. Some of you think that because Andrew Jackson is on the 20, that's pointing to Andrew. I'm seeing more like Ezra things here, because Ezra is a biblical name and he has a lot of money, so I don't know. I could be wrong. What do you think about that? Thank you to everyone who commented on my video last week. So many great comments. My shout out to my subscriber of the week goes to Ricky, who basically is saying that Mona faked her death, which we know because she kind of planned. But Lucas was the one in a blonde wig who was helping to stage the scene. Now, I think she actually was killed after this, but then sometimes I think she's actually alive. So really, who knows? This show messes with my mind every week. I just wanted to remind you, if you didn't know or if you're new here, that I do a live PLL web chat every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. with the company Instacator. It's a cool way to earn prizes for just watching your favorite TV shows and commenting and doing like quizzes and stuff. So I will have all those links down below. I'd love for you to join me because I answer all your questions live. It's a 30-minute show. It's tons of fun. And again, thank you so much for being a part of my PLL family. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do, because I love all you guys. So it was great talking to you again. Can't wait to read your comments on this video. I reply to all of them, and I will see you next time.